The Nuggets are going for gold.
I
you
like
get it?
That. Yes. They got to go get it.
graphic.
It took
Keep
you a little
digging,
while
go get it.
before you laugh.
Yes.
This is their last 5 games. A 5-game winning streak that they're looking to extend in Minnesota as they take on a Timberwolves team that's won 4 of their last 6. There's a couple of all-stars in the Western Conference. Nikola Jokic with a nice footwork in the bucket inside, cutting their deficit as the Wolves led the way at that point. Then off the inbounds, Karl-Anthony Towns knocks down the mid-range jumper.
Catch and shoot 5.
Right.
It's unbelievable. I mean, these young guys, their skill set, that's old school big boy basketball right there. Rebound and put it back.
Body to body.
The Wolves would lead the way 64-61 at the half. Then the Joker here with the missed layup gets his own rebound, kicks it out to Malik Beasley for 3.
Yeah, the Joker showed his athleticism, which is below the rim. And nice kick out. He has great vision.
Beasley had 22 in this one. Towns with
that's some athleticism.
31 points and 12 rebounds.
Sorry, Plumlee, that you've been on a Towns poster tonight. Ooh, that was vicious.
Are you a cat guy?
Yeah, I'm a cat guy. I like cat. I'm a cat guy.
I'm a cat guy.
So a Karl-Anthony Towns guy. How about like just
No, I'm a
cats?
dog. I knew I was messing with you. I knew you were going. I knew where you were going. That's not like I'm a cat guy, but I'm a
still a
dog
cat
lover.
guy.
I'm a dog
Shout
lover.
out to Magic.
Ooh, Luau Dane sighting.
Flashback, Luau.
Correct. Now the same score here. 10 seconds to go. Luau Deng gets a shot for the win and can't knock it down.
Yeah, I would like to have seen Wiggins or Towns.
Yeah, why are we not playing through Towns? I haven't figured it out. Second game I've seen, the ball didn't go to him down
In the
low.
final possession.
Yeah. Hit a big shot in shot in overtime to win.
Right.
The Nuggets go on to win at 107-106, and Coach Mike Malone is the 2019 All-Star coach for, well, we can't call them the Western Conference All-Stars, Team LeBron.
Team LeBron.
It is, of course,
That
Coach Bud.
That sounds good.
With Team Giannis. I know. I like it all. Well, the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic recorded a triple-double, his 9th this season. Can you tell me what stood out to you about his play?
What I love about Jokic is just the way he sets screens and how he's able to roll to the basket. He uses physicality. Right now, you can see his vision is that he's seeing this left side of the court, and if you're cutting to the basket, he will make the proper pass to you. And then just his ability to set the screen, roll to the basket, and then he plays physical basketball. He's not a big-time athlete, but he knows I can use my body down low, and I'll hit these guys who are 6'8", 6'9", or smaller than me. And guys, the way the game is now, it's not a lot of physicality. And then he does an excellent job of looking down the court. Most bigs want to give the ball to the guard in the backcourt. His vision is all the way down the court, 94 feet. He does a good job of passing the ball on cuts to the basket. He puts his body on guys, and then he has great footwork around the basket. Just the jab step, the pump fake, the little things that as you get older and you're not as big-time athlete anymore, you got to know how to use your body. So he's using his body well. And then just the guys around him. You start seeing the guards knock down shots, and everyone knows when he gets the ball in the low block, you got to cut without the ball.
And we really quickly brushed over the fact that Malik Beasley had 22. How has he contributed to this team this season?
34 the other night, career high.
Right.
35 with
It just continues to improve, which I think is what's most
35 points
impressive.
the other night against Houston at home. Breakout year for me because opportunity. We know Gary Harris has missed a lot of games. Prepared himself ready to play. We know Will the Thrill missed some games earlier in the season, ready to play. So Malik Beasley has shown us now when opportunity knocks, and you notice when you're in the gym early, you're working on your shot, you're taking care of your body. So now when Coach Malone puts him in the game, he doesn't look like a fish out of water. He looks like a guy that's been waiting and salivating for this opportunity. That's why he's playing such great basketball.
He's averaging more than 27 points a game over this last 3 games.
And one of their player development guy who's a guy that was here with me in Atlanta, John Beckett, he does a great job of working with young players and keeping those guys motivated, keeping them in shape. And as you said, when that opportunity comes, you have to seize that moment. It's a long season, and guys are going to get hurt. So there's no excuse for you not to be in great shape. And when Coach calls your number, you have to be ready to go out there and execute.
So is this Nuggets team a legitimate contender in the Western Conference?
I say yes. The only thing that we, quote unquote, NBA people were concerned about, are you ready to get out of that second round. Can they win the first round series 1-8? You probably say yes, unless you're facing the Lakers and that's LeBron James team. Then you're pretty nervous because we know LeBron James can probably beat a series by itself in that first round. But because they're so young, Chris, and they've never been there before, that's my biggest concern for them.
And I'm like you. I'm concerned with their experience. The only experienced player that has really deep playoff experience is Paul Millsap. The other guys are young, and get into the playoff, you can be excited about it, but it's another level of intensity. Guys really lock in on what you do well, and they're going to take your strengths away. So I don't know how well they're going to do. It depends on the first-round opponent, how well they do. But you're right. If they were to get the Lakers, we know LeBron can win a series by himself.
Well, then if you think that they're perhaps a piece away from being a legitimate contender, can they go get anybody with the trade deadline around the corner?
Believe it or not, I don't think it's a player for them, because I think Millsap is that veteran that TD's talking about. Jokic has grown within. Gary Harris has grown within. Will the three? Plumlee, they got enough pieces.
Yes. Just getting the playoff experience.
Maybe Isaiah Thomas comes back, from the injury. I think the young rookie's done for the whole year, Porter. But at the end of the day, you have enough pieces. Now is, do you believe in yourself? Does this system translate to the playoffs? And can you get those stops that we've seen teams do time after time, year after year in the playoffs?
And I think the key is, once again, is getting to the playoff and then having your experience. But when you're going against teams that have already been in the playoff, that their experience and they know what they need to do as far as, like you said, getting consecutive stops, executing, knowing time and score, and knowing from each game, teams going to make adjustments. Players have to make adjustments, but you're the same player with the same tendencies that they saw before. So you have to be able to have counters and make changes. But I like the team. I like the chemistry. I wouldn't change anything, because you can bring in another piece and it can mess the chemistry up. So you got to be very careful of that.
Look elsewhere in the Western Conference. Perhaps a legitimate contender in the Houston Rockets? Trying to somehow shoot their way out of a slump. They've dropped 2 in a row in Utah to face a Jazz team that's won 9 of their last 10 home games. But James Harden decided, we're just not going to lose 3 in a row.
Well, it's hard to do that the way this young man's been playing back-to-back seasons, because the system really does fit his skill set.
It truly
does. He puts so much pressure.
How do you stop him? How do you slow him down?
Well, there's a number of ways, I would say, but even double teaming, if guys are making shots, it opens up the court. But he is one of the best players I've seen off the bounce.
He had 29 points in the first half alone. There he is with a no-look to Kenneth Faried, who's been very helpful since his acquisition.
Well, he's a different version of what Capella brings you. Like, once again, James Harden gets to the paint with the floater, because now look how wide open the lane is. So now as a defender, you're like, my 4-foot lane, he kicks it. If I get too close to him, he goes by me. He gets a layup, or I foul him. So once again, for some of us, you're like, wait, this is one-on-one basketball. Well, I can't think of another one-on-one player right now in our game that really fits.
There's certainly not a one-on-one defender.
Well, I mean, it's tough to defend a guy that gets rhythm the way he does. And he's going to get 20 to 30 shots if he wants. So it's hard to guard a player that has a green light every time down the court. Is that for a defender, you're looking for help, but you don't have help because they have shooters on the outside.
But he contributes across all statistical categories. He finished with 43 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 steals, and 4 blocks. The Rockets won it, by the way, in case you missed it, 125-98. Is he simply running away with a back-to-back MVP trophy?
I don't know if he's running away with it, but he's got a close grip to it. And as he continues to play this way, and this team continues to win, you look in the standings, they still hover around 5 or 6. That's what makes his case very strong. Like people say,
oh, you see it every night.
So now Russell's doing this with Paul George.
Right.
Now you see James Harden without Chris Paul doing these numbers, and they're still winning. So that's what makes it so much exciting to talk about. Oh, wait a minute. The Greek Freak is doing amazing things.
He is.
Right.
And Milwaukee has the best record in the NBA. So this may be another one of those years where every case has so much data to prove it.
Right.
But I'm not sure who's going to win at the end.
It's like I said, I mean, for me, he's the leading candidate right now. And just because he's been carrying his team without Chris Paul being there and then having Capella out. And he's surrounded, as you said earlier, with the right talent. It's all about personnel. You might go to a team and it might not be the right fit for you, but if you can get the right talent around you and they fit your game, and they know exactly what he does well, and his teammates don't complain. Because you could be in other places where guys are shooting, and you start hearing talk and chatter about, oh, he's shooting too much, he's a franchise player. That'll get you traded. So make sure you know your role on this team.
Well, when we come back, the highlights continue with Ben Simmons and the Sixers wrapping up a 4-game West Coast road trip in Sacramento. And Anthony Davis is still on the Pelicans roster, not on the court, of course, in a Gucci tee with the blazer. I like it. The team's in San Antonio to take on the Spurs.
Run the money for Anthony Davis in this situation. We have breaking news. According to Chris Haynes, LeBron James will not play tonight against the Golden State Warriors due to, quote, load management. League sources tell Yahoo Sports. Now, LeBron James played 44 minutes in his first game back. The Lakers are facing the Golden State Warriors, the same team he hurt his groin against on Christmas Day. Rex, what do you make of this?
KD-itis. He's ducking KD. Steph-itis. Clay-itis. No. I was surprised he played 44 minutes the other night. Obviously, it's a little bit of a maintenance move, right?
Yeah. I thought he said it, prior to this game, right after he played so many minutes, it's going to be one of the situations that I have to see how my body respond because we don't know. We run an emotional high after a basketball game. Everything's still feeling good. You got to win. You look extremely sharp after being off for so many months, you know what I mean? Since playing, December 25th?
Yep.
So now he's back, and he probably felt a little ailments and, probably just took the safe approach and getting back out there.
Well, Karan, before he returned, you said, look, LeBron doesn't look like he's 100% from seeing him in practice. So where do you think he was when he returned if he wasn't 100%?
I think he was somewhere between 75 and 80, and that's still better than 80% of the association. So when you're able to go out there with his high basketball IQ, and just mind you, if LeBron's out there on the basketball court, the coverages change. You have to give him so much attention that it enables other guys to be the best possible version of themselves, having open opportunity.
How old is LeBron now?
34.
34. You start, and this makes sense. It's a maintenance move.
Yeah.
You don't get groins and hamstrings when you're 24, but you start getting them later on. And when you start getting them, you really you've got to be careful to not come back and do too much too fast.
Young player that seems to be taking a bit of the load on his shoulders, Brandon Ingram, recently really carrying this team offensively with no Lonzo Ball in the lineup as well.
Really nice player, and you've kind of been waiting for him. You saw, the length and all the skill set when he was at Duke, and he's really, he got suspended early in the year, starting to put it together. He's a beautiful offensive player.
Yeah, he's a complete player. We went from, scoring the basketball in the paint with his wiry strength to now, being able to have that mid-range consistent shot, and now playing with LeBron and Rondo, he's been able to, start knocking down perimeter shots, catch and shoot, not holding the ball, 1,000, 1,000 type of player, and that's exactly what you need.
So he's averaging 22.5 over his last 6 games. So when we look at this Laker young core, when we talk about the Anthony Davis trade, and we saw that Brandon Ingram allegedly was not, or reportedly not, in that trade offer. Is he now the crown jewel of this young group?
I think so. I think
yes.
You want to have him to.
Yes.
Body language says yes, Karan.
And so does the smile. Look at it. Look, he knows it.
I mean, who do you think is the guy? The
Lonzo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it varies, man. It goes back and forth.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I feel like you're being very, very tight-lipped on this situation, as if you don't want to give us too much information. That's fine. But just judging from talent and what they produce, Rex, who do you say is the crown jewel of that young group? Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, who, don't forget, that 27th pick that they used on Kyle Kuzma came over from that D'Angelo Russell trade with Brooklyn. So they got him essentially replacing a young D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah. There's some thought that maybe they got rid of D'Angelo a little too soon.
Yeah.
I know some of us think that, but yes, I think Brandon Ingram is the crown jewel in the piece of the puzzle. And at some point, they're going to have to give it. They're going to have to give it up if they want to get AD done now.
Me personally, I'm a huge Kyle Kuzma guy.
Yeah, I am too.
I love an underdog, and I think that just from last season, when you talk about adversity, I think he was the guy that was in the forefront, the poster child. In all the interviews, saying all the right things, having the coach back, even when, Father Ball was out there saying miscellaneous things. I just felt like he kept the foundation sound. Thought he was the voice of reason, and he showed great composure and leadership, not just by talking, but actually playing and demonstrating it on the court also.
Well, someone who's shown leadership in the NBA Finals in big situations, one Kyrie Irving. But this week, he had some situations off the court in Madison Square Garden. They started chanting for him to come play for the New York Knicks. But here's Kyrie after the Celtics won that game.